There's a moment in retirement that no one prepares you for. It's the moment when it stops feeling like a break and starts feeling permanent. We spend decades preparing financially for retirement. We plan the numbers, building the retirement fund, investments, and finally the exit date. But there's one key part that no one prepares us for, and that's the psychological shift. It's the piece that comes when you realise you're never going back. So in this video, I want to share the day that landed for me and what it felt like, why it caught me off guard, and how understanding that moment changed the way I now approach retirement completely. If you're a new or returning viewer, my name's Paul and thanks for stopping by. Now, just before we get stuck in, I've thought about this long and hard, and I'm going to break this video down into 6 key points that portrays the end-to-end journey, so do stick with me. When I first retired, if I'm honest, it didn't feel final. It felt like long service leave, like an extended break. In other words, I hadn't let go. Even the way I spoke about it reflected that, because I'd say things like, oh well, you never know, or I'd still be happy to do some part-time work if they needed me. Part of me still saw myself as someone who could or would go back. I kept in touch. I kept reminding them I'm available. And I still introduced myself to others as being semi-retired. So therefore mentally, I hadn't fully stepped away. Retirement to me felt like an ongoing transitional phase or pause, rather than a closing chapter. Then one day, in no dramatic or major epiphany type way, it just sort of landed. It might as well have been another ordinary day because no one was expecting a decision from me, nor was there any calendar reminders. And I remember taking a moment to think, I've arrived. This is my life now, and I ain't going back. And somewhat strangely, it hit me a little bit. Not because I missed the connection or association with working or the organisation that I'd worked for, but it was because I realised something deeper. A version of me, the working version, we had quietly finished. And I have to say, I was not only glad, but I was fully ready to embrace the new version of me. So here's what I've come to understand. Retirement isn't just a structural or financial transition. It's an identity transition. Because when you stop working permanently, sure, you lose the structure and the paycheck. But there's more to it than that, because you lose your status or title, the daily routine and the external validation, or what you call day-to-day accountabilities. When asked, you have a ready-made answer to what do you do? You typically answer that or identify yourself to what you did or were. And there's no blueprint for rebuilding that. Whilst we're taught how to plan for retirement and to build the retirement fund, little seems to focus around restructuring identity. I remember my last financial meeting with my financial planner. The outcome was pretty predictable. Spreadsheets, projections, forecasts, etc. But nothing about Paul the person. Because when retirement arrives, assuming you've got your financial ducks in a row, everything then becomes about me or you, the actual person. But prior to it, there's very little or no focus on this. So when the honeymoon phase fades and the novelty wears off, many retirees quietly feel a void. And it's not often asked about. For me, the emotions were mixed. There was certainly freedom and relief, but there was also a subtle sense of invisibility, I guess you could call it. The world kept moving, the old place kept evolving, new personnel had hastily stepped in to replace me. And I realised life didn't need me in that role anymore. And that was a little unsettling because for decades being needed was part of your identity, wasn't it? So when that disappears, you're left with the question, who am I now? Thankfully that didn't last too long, because here's why. Here's the important part, the realisation. The day I understood I wasn't going back. It wasn't a loss, it was a choice point. Because if work no longer defines me, then I need to define myself. Not through busyness, not through filling in time just to feel productive, but intentionally. And that's when I began asking better questions. What do I want this stage of life to represent? What contribution feels more meaningful now? What relationships or day-to-day purpose matter more than titles or roles ever did? And it was after that then I started telling people, I'm retired. It not only felt freeing, but people seemed more genuinely interested and wanted to find out more, which is the new version of external validation that work used to give you. So retirement for me stopped being an absence of work to then become the presence of choice. At some point, if you're retired or even if you're approaching it, this moment will likely come. You'll realise it's arrived and it's permanent. And when it does arrive, and aside from being great, it's both an opportunity and an invitation. An invitation to consciously rebuild identity, to design structure that not only suits you, but is you, to shape a purposeful existence on your terms. Because thriving in retirement isn't about having the biggest retirement fund or personal wealth. It's about having a clear sense of who you are without the title. The day I realised I was never going back to work was the day retirement became real. Not temporary, not experimental, not reversible, real. And once I accepted that, something shifted. I stopped looking backward and started shaping forward. And that, I've learned, is where true freedom in retirement begins. Thanks for watching and staying with me, guys. I really appreciate it. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye for now.